If you think about Hornady Manufacturing's greatest successes and greatest breakthrough, you have to include critical duty ammunition.
When Jason Hornady started at the company, he had a few goals. One of them was, I want to win an FBI contract for ammunition. That was the kickoff to critical duty. From there, it was, how do we defeat the barriers? What's the testing? How do we design bullets to do this? It was a whole myriad of things.
So the development of the handgun bullets that we created for critical defense, critical duty, really were an outgrowth of following through on the FBI protocol of what worked and what didn't work and why.
The FBI protocol is you have to defeat a bunch of barriers and then you want to penetrate 14 to 16 inches in gel. So let's say you're going to go through wallboard or glass. You want your bullet to end up 14 to 16 inches deep in the block of gel.
It didn't just happen overnight for us. It was kind of a evolution of a lot of product development. We'd wanted to do it for quite a long time, but initially, Dave Emery started off by taking some of our hollow point bullets and experimented by just using caulk and filling hollow points with caulk to see how they'd react when they went through barriers.
We tried a bunch of stuff from different liquids and not really liquids, but glues or whatever. And of course, if it isn't solid enough, that it won't stay put. And if it's too solid, it won't work. There were other concepts out there. There was one with a hard plastic ball. You look at that, that's got to be a great idea. It didn't work for crap.
Fast forward a few years, and he was trying to do that with a polymer that he could actually acquire that would work in our bullets. We still couldn't quite get it for handgun projectiles at the time, but that then became the flex tips that we all know in Lever Evolution and the FTX bullets there.
Applying that flex tip polymer tip first to critical defense and then to critical duty, which was designed for law enforcement use and designed to break through that incredibly difficult FBI protocol. That was a huge breakthrough.
Also had to make a very rugged bullet jacket, and we have a big mechanical lock in there, the flex lock, that keeps that bullet together. It's designed to also shear some of that bullet weight as it goes through some of the double barriers, like the sheet metal where you're replicating a car door. Because without that, you know, it probably would just expand and not go through the second part of that barrier. Because if it opens up too much through the first one, it's going to kind of parachute and catch maybe on that second one, then it yaws and doesn't provide that penetration. So eventually we did get it. And then we now had the projectile that was what we felt ideal for law enforcement.
The old saying that we use around there is, we want the bullet to dictate to the target what it does, not the target dictate to the bullet what it does. And critical duty is a prime example of making your bullet do what you want it to do, no matter what it goes through.
Once we got critical duty up and running, flex lock bullets, we submitted the product to the FBI. Now you're going to go through an extremely rigorous test in order to make sure that the production product will always satisfy their needs. So once you do win one of those contracts, it's a bona fide. It really justifies a lot of the work that so many people in the company had put into developing this product. Then on the civilian side, it lends legitimacy to your product. It lends legitimacy to your production techniques and your testing environment. And then on the law enforcement side, once you get an FBI contract, other agencies can then buy off of some of those contracts, and you start to win state contracts. So it's extremely meaningful.